Welcome back to the channel. Back on the old 79 C35 dually. Last week, I tried to get this thing on the road to go to the Piedmont Traction Show, which was over a 1,000-mile round trip. And I tried to pull the motor, rebuild it, put it back in 7 days. Ran out of time. But no worries, we took my 67 C10 and had a great time. Now that I'm back in town, it's time to get this thing back on the road because this is gonna be my daily driver. We'll start from the bottom, I suppose, get these pulleys on the harmonic balancer. Can't even see the bolts. Where's my persuader? I'm just trying to get it set into the harmonic balancer in the right spot. Is that it? Heck yeah. Gonna put a little RTV on our water pump here. Now, if you noticed, I tried to not disassemble everything. I left the brackets on here, even painted the brackets on the water pump and didn't have to pull the power steering pump pulley, just took all the brackets off because I just wanna try to save some time. Anyway, it's worked out a little bit. So we're just gonna put on our water pump next, putting on a little bit of RTV on the mating surfaces. So we'll put some there. Already cleaned up our bolts. Click, 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 click. Just a little click, click. That's all it takes. We got our water pump in here. I want to show you guys and gals a little trick. Just got some all-purpose cleaner. This happens to be sweet patina flavor. So you see how we got some RTV just squeezing out the sides here? We'll just spray that with some all-purpose cleaner. Take our thumb, finger, whatever this is, and wipe her down. That'll help get rid of the RTV, but not spread it around all over the area, because as you guys and gals know, this stuff can be pretty stubborn at times. Throw in our alternator here. There's just 2 bolts on this one. Starting to hook up some hoses here. This is getting pretty exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and replace these, as many hoses as I can, or at least the ones that look like they're in rough shape. Golly. Golly. Oh, this thing is like 100 pounds, dude. Before I put my fan on, I'm just gonna get my belts in the right spot. So, back one's AC is probably the biggest. So it's gonna go over the, there we go. Yeah, I remember when we were trying to get this thing, oops, sorry. We were trying to get this thing running. We had like a smog pump over here. The pulley kind of got jacked up. Oops. And I wasn't able, we basically found a belt that was short enough to go from the water pump pulley to the alternator. But now that we don't have the smog pump in place, I wonder, oh, let me go find some belts. I know I got some extra ones around here. That's why you never throw away your belts, kids. Let's see, I might not get lucky though. This one is, oh, just a little bit too big. Oh, I think we got a winner. Heck yeah. All right, that belt's probably older than me, but that'll do. Put these guys down there together. There it is. Right here. Okie dokie. Let's bolt our fan up here and get our belts tight. Finish putting on these hoses. Man, we're getting close to firing this thing. Got to a really good spot. Been doing a lot of tedious stuff, you know, tidying up the engine bay as much as I can and making sure everything's right, I guess. We got all our hoses on. We got our wiring done. Just got to throw in the battery, fill up our fluids. We need power steering fluid, oil, coolant. And I mean, that's pretty much it. This thing's ready to bark off in the morning. I got to take a break and go grab the kids from school and all that fun stuff. So that's all I can do for the day. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to break in this freaking cam and get this sucker back on the road. Got her all filled up with fluids. Notice I had a small little coolant leak from this hose. Hopefully I got it tightened up enough. Seems like it stopped. No drips anywhere else. So that means it's time to fire up this truck. Now I got a problem. Okay, when you're breaking in a flat tappet cam, you really, hang on, let's back up. Now some of you guys and gals might be wondering, what's the break-in oil I'm using? Well, I went with the old 1540 from Traveler. This is just a diesel engine oil from Tractor Supply Company. It's like 60 bucks for this. And it's got an adequate amount of ZDDP for engine break-in. But I also went to a parts store and got some of this Zinc Plus for the actual cam break-in. So kind of got a problem. The truck's in here backwards, which I really needed it to be for all the work that I was doing, but now it's got to be turned around because if we run this in here for half an hour, I might not make it to the end. Let's just say that. So I'm gonna fire this truck up, turn it around, and then we'll do the cam break-in process. Now when you're doing the cam break-in process, these manufacturers really want you to fire the truck up or fire the car up and just rev it to like 2,500 RPM right away, which we're not gonna do that. We're gonna fire it up, we're gonna turn it around, we're gonna shut it down, see if we got any leaks, and then we'll fire it up, do the cam break-in. Maybe it's not the right way, I don't know. We're just gonna do it because that's what we're gonna do. Before we attempt to fire this up, we got a primer oil system, which is actually pretty easy to do on these old school motors. I'm gonna take note where my rotor's pointed. I'm at top dead center and the rotor's pointed right at the #1 cylinder. So we're gonna drop in this fancy tool. Click on there just like that. Now we're gonna run it with this drill for about a minute. Uh-oh, we got a big problem. Well, I missed a plug. You know, stuff happens. All right, now I got that mess cleaned up. Let's see if this thing will fire up. Got voltage, that's good. Sounds smooth. My gas pedal's sticking. Smell fuel. Maybe it's flooded. Doubt it. Key on. My freaking gas pedal's stuck. I don't know what's going on with that. Building oil pressure. We're not getting spark yet? I don't think it's getting spark. What's up, man?
Do you know what the building Palmfield Marine Fair is?
I think it's a bow right here.
Right.
Had one a power wire that looked like it wasn't hooked up. Nothing blew up. Woo, buddy. dang throttle cable's stuck. Come on, baby. Oh, it just wants to run so bad. Let's move the timing a little bit. Ooh. That sounded really good. Let's move the timing a wee bit more and give her a couple pumps here. Oh, rain's coming. All right, just in time. Well, a good thing to know is that the cam I put in here is not too big because it's not making any really funny noises. All right. Nice. Very nice. Come on, baby. What is going on? Oh, dang it. Not fast enough. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it idle high. I really need to get in there and check the oil pressure. We got to start this cam break-in process. I'm going to adjust the idle a little bit. Oh, come on, come on, come on. She wants to run, dude. She wants to run. Don't worry about the smoke you see coming off. It's just all that oil and grease and fresh paint and all that stuff we've been putting all over this motor. All right, I feel good about this one. We should get her fired up right now. Ready? 60, almost 60 PSI oil pressure. All right, we'll bump up the idle. I don't want to run this too long in here because I don't want to die. There we go. What's our timing look like? Not bad. Let's give her some beans again. Turn her around in just a second, but a lot of times they say that you don't want to, or you want, when you're breaking in a flat tappet cam, you want to go to a certain level RPM for a little bit, bring it down, go up higher, bring it down. There's conflicting reports on what's right and what's wrong, but the gist of it is you want to be able to just cycle through for about a half an hour, get everything up to temperature, make sure you don't have any leaks. And after that half hour of going through high RPM, low RPM, high RPM, low RPM, you should be able to break in those flat tappet lifters and that should be ready to go. So let's start the timer. Actually, let me get this thing turned around. All right, now let's run it at a high RPM. My phone at? Actually, we'll set the timer for 30 minutes and then we'll just keep adjusting the RPM. Go ahead and close off the cooling system too. I think that's okay. Look how dirty that water is though. I might have to flush this when we're done. No clicking, no knocking. Sounds really, really smooth. Need to get this fan over here and start blowing some of that exhaust out. My eyeballs are burning. Well, my throttle started working properly again, but we're going to check the temperature because I want to make sure that we're not overheating this thing. We're at 170, the upper radiator hose, 173. The block's getting really hot right by the carburetor, 335. About 190. Yeah, we're sitting about 190, 195 on the upper radiator hose, which is where all the hot water's coming out of the motor. Sit here for a minute. $60 PSI. We're dropping on voltage. I got to figure out what's going on with the alternator. All right, I had to stop because she started to get a little warm just sitting here going through the RPM, which kind of knew that was going to happen. So I got my fan and I was, trying to blow it through the radiator, blow it on the motor, and the header started, or the manifold started glowing. So We gonna let her cool down. It's okay to stop your cam break-in and adjust anything, like if you have any coolant leaks or oil leaks or whatever, you can address those and then get back to breaking in the cam. So we got about a solid 20 minutes of running on this thing. I think that's gonna be good, but once it cools down, I'm gonna fire it back up and then finish out the rev range through breaking in the cam. Then we're gonna change the oil, and then this thing should be ready to rock. I wanna talk to you guys about something else. Going back to the oil I was talking to you about, so I didn't mention this is a non-synthetic oil, and it has the proper ZDDP, zinc dexyl. So you don't want to run a synthetic oil with a flat tappet lifter because it needs a certain amount of zinc to lubricate it properly. So going with this diesel motor oil that has the correct amount of what I need, plus the additive that I put in there, I think we're gonna be fine. I'll probably end up putting the additive in like every time I do an oil change in this thing, just because, you know, I want this motor to last as long as I own it. So yeah, we'll let her cool down and we'll get back to it and then do an oil change and see how that looks, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap this sucker up. We got my grill back in and my trans cooler's all hooked up. We're using the trans cooler going into the radiator, and then the radiator's pre-cooling it, and then it's going into the trans cooler to cool the pre-cooled transmission fluid, and then it's going back to the transmission. I did that because just wanted to make sure that the old Turbo 400 doesn't get too hot on me when we're going down the road. Anyway, I gotta replace these lights because they suck. Here, let me show you. Just the old school halogen, like you can't see anything at night with these things. Now, if you go on Amazon, there's a pattern here. You guys see that? A lot of stuff comes from Amazon. You can get these lights. There's 7-inch housings, and they come with an LED light that's actually pretty bright. On my Blazer, I had them for a while, and United Pacific sent me a pair of their new LED headlights to put in. So these are the takeoffs from the Blazer, and I put many miles of night driving with them on here. So replacing these lights is like really easy. You take off this beauty ring, it's just 3 Phillips head screws, pull your light out, disconnect it. I might save these because I don't know, we'll see. Well, it's supposed to be easy. What the? Yeah. That's in there. Oh, broke it. Do you hear that? Psst. What is going on here? Would you just get off of there, dude? What was that? I don't know what that was. I'm afraid it's gonna break. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna set that right there. So here's one of those lights. I mean, it looks dang near identical to the halogen one, but the difference is this little guy back here. So it has the back of the housing's a little different, and it has this LED bulb in here, which goes into this adapter, which plugs right into the truck. Plug her in there. Might have to do a little relief cut right here. And then it literally just sits right in place. So when I did the install on the Blazer with those, there it is, United Pacific lights, you gotta cut the headlight bucket for them to fit. And these, you don't have to do that. They just bolt right into place. They drop right into place, rather. See the difference that makes? It's hard to tell a difference in brightness, but the new LED bulb is definitely a lot brighter. And obviously the color temperature is a lot different too. I think it looks awesome. And for some cheapies on Amazon, I mean, you can't really beat them. Well, just change the oil on this old big block. Something that you don't want to do is really look at that oil too much after you break in a flat tappet cam. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is in that oil. You're only really worried about, you know, huge metal chunks, which I didn't have any. I've already put the oil away and all that stuff. Anyway, so, you know, you're gonna have a lot of fine material going through the oil system. So right after that cam break in, you change the oil, and then I'm gonna drive this around for the next 3 weeks or so and see how it does, do an oil change, and hopefully I'll be taking this to Southeastern Truck Nationals. Now, while I was doing the oil change, I went ahead and got a filter kit for the Turbo 400. I started to clean it out, and I was like, well, let me bring these guys and gals in here and just take a peek at how dirty this oil pan is. There were some larger metal chunks in here, so I'm not super confident in this transmission. But regardless, I mean, it shifts fine, or at least the last time I drove it, it did. So let's go ahead and change this out, get her filled back up with transmission fluid, check all our fluids, all that fun stuff. And let's take this thing for a rip and see how she does. All right, well, I think that's all I want to do right now. I want to get the truck running again, and I want to fine tune it. So I dropped the idle down, the idle screw down, and we're going to try to get it running. And basically what you want to do is disconnect your vacuum port, because you're going to set your base timing. So the base timing for these big blocks, they want anywhere between 8 to 12 degrees. We do have a little cam in there, so we'll just see where it likes to be. Might have fixed my alternator issue too. There was a brown wire disconnected from a white wire, so we'll see if that works. Come on, baby. Got to give her a little more on the idle. What's squirting? Uh-oh. That looks like transmission fluid. All right, we got that fixed there. One of the transcooler line hose ruptured. Key on. That sounds nice. Let's check our transcooler real quick. All right, where's our timing at? We are about 8 degrees before top dead center. That's about 10. And it's running real good. Sounds nice. Let's check our transmission fluid. Run her through some gears, make sure she feels good. Great oil pressure. Yeah, we got 13 volts on the alternator. They bump up our idle just a little bit. Dry as a bone. Take it for a rip, shall we? Guess we're gonna bump that idle up a little bit. All right. That's better. All right, got everything like hooked up here, and I'm really excited to take this thing out. Got to get these brakes working again. I did notice my master cylinder is leaking quite a bit from the top, and I'm thinking it's because it's so corroded that the fluid is just pushing past where all the pits are. My tailgate flew open. I want to get her into third and get her up to speed, so we'll go on the main road here. Got to look at my brakes too. I think that the driver's side caliper is not engaging, even though I think I replaced both of them. But if I jam on the brakes too hard, the passenger side locks up and the brakes feel like they're lagging a little bit. There she goes. Man, this thing runs so smooth. I mean, it's exactly like it was. Actually, it's running, I think, better than it was before I did the rebuild. But yeah, taking your time, making sure everything is right, really pays off. This took a couple extra days, but this took a couple more days than I thought it would. But at the end of the day, like, I want this to be reliable because I want this to be my daily driver. So I want to be able to jam it on the road. I'm going 60 miles an hour right now, and she's just cruising. We're staying at 210. Oil pressure is still just under 60, and the voltage is right at 13. I mean, I'm happy with that. Also, I fixed this. It had a little air horn that wasn't hooked up, so I ended up running some wires and getting it working. So I'm glad I got a horn, got the LED lights on. Got a couple more things we're gonna do to it when I get back to the shop. Truck is running great, so went around the block a couple times. Got her up to speed, you know, as you guys just saw, and we never went over 220. Our volts came back since I fixed the alternator. Oil pressure never went under 50. I mean, like, what more could you ask for? So next thing I want to do is now we can start addressing some of the cosmetic things with this truck. Starting with this topper. Now, I don't like this. I know a lot of y'all think I do, but I don't. And it's really handy, but to be honest with you, it's what keeps my tailgate up. See? Nothing. You got nothing. I've tried to get this thing to work right, but it's literally just seized. So at the Piedmont Traction Show, Terry, he just had that black dually that I covered. He had a tailgate latch assembly for sale, along with new body mounts, which I need desperately, because you can see how the bed is right here in the cab. It's like, yeah, those are bad. So we got new ones of those, and I also got a new blower motor. Well, it's not new, it's new to me, but it came out of his truck. The truck had like 56,000 original miles. And this was the OG blower that came out of it. So yeah, I'm gonna use that for sure. Of course, I'm gonna wait to put that in because that's just like, AC's kind of far on down the road. I still gotta, like, you know, get the hood back on, do some rust repair, you know. But hey, it's running and driving, and that's exactly where I wanna be. All right, let's get this going here. This kit came with everything. It came with new latches, new hinges, new pivot points, but I'm not doing any of that. I'm just doing the tailgate guts here. So You got 2 1/2-inch bolts that go in and hold these catches, and you just got some Phillips head fasteners that go right here. Pop these. We're gonna take off this little thingy. Put that right there. So this one's gonna go like this. I believe these are marked. Yeah, so this one's gonna go in like that. Put that one back on. Take this one off. So the passenger side goes to this lower one, driver's side goes to the upper one. It's got new metal clips in here. So the passenger side goes to this lower one. Actually, let's do the upper one. Driver's side goes to the upper one. There we go. There it goes. It's always a good idea to do like a test pull. Yep, that works. You don't want to slam this shut and then not be able to open it. It clicks funny. Oh, would you look at that? This one actually fits pretty good. Sometimes they're all like crooked. All right, guys and gals, we have successfully rebuilt the big block for the old C35 dually, and I'm so excited to get this thing back on the road because like I said before, I sold my other OBS dually, and now I need a tow rig, and I think this is gonna do the trick. Really thinking about maybe doing some upgrades like a ACES fuel injection system, possibly like a 4L80 in the back to get overdrive, because you know I was cruising it around today and I was getting up to about 65, and that's all I really feel comfortable doing in this truck. And when I went to North Carolina and we smoked the motor, I was doing about 70, 72, and I think that's just pushing it a little too much for that long of a drive. That was 500 miles, you know. So thinking about doing a cost breakdown of what it took to build this big block in the garage. I think a lot of people really are curious on like what the actual cost is to do just like a stock rebuild in your own home, in your garage or driveway or whatever, you know, because I feel like if you're a little bit mechanically inclined, you can 100% rebuild a motor on your own. Also, something I'm thinking about doing is rebuilding transmissions. I've been wanting to tackle one of those for a long time, and if I do the fuel injection in a 4L80, I might rebuild a 4L80 and see how long it lasts. Anyway, guys and gals, this truck is not going anywhere yet. Still got a bunch of little stuff to do to it, like replace this leaky master cylinder. We got to fix the AC, redo some of the interior, some severe rust repair needs to be done on this bad boy. AMD actually makes a replacement panel for this whole windshield piece. Needs a new front windshield too. I don't like patina windshields. It's not really my jam. So there's still a lot of work to be done to this truck, but dude, it's running, it's driving, and I'm ready to cruise it around town. As always, I appreciate you guys and gals hanging around and watching these videos. I'll see you in the next one.